James Harden is an extraordinary human being, truly an extraordinary human being. The fact that he just signed, a 3-year, something like $97 million contract in Cleveland is phenomenal and not surprising in the least whatsoever. I heard Brian Windhorst the other day talking about how if somebody had told him that James Harden would sign a 3-year contract, versus like just kind of like opting into his final year or something like that in Cleveland for the $40 million he was owed, he would have told them they were insane. And in all honesty, I would have vehemently disagreed with him on the spot. I could have told you without a doubt that James Harden was going to get paid what he wanted to get paid, and was going to get an extension, and everything was going to work out. And I feel like I've been beating this horse about James Harden for a while now. It started back when he left the Nets, or the Brooklyn Nets, and made his way over to the Clippers, I believe, is where he went after the Nets, right? He's been on so many teams at this point, but even then, or I think he stopped in Philly, right? That's what it was. He was in New Jersey, he was in Brooklyn, and then he went to Philly, and then from Philly he went to the Clippers. And I think somewhere between Philly and the Clippers, people were starting to say that James Harden is over, he's never going to get paid again, yada, 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 his career is this, career is that. And I just thought that was nonsense at the time, and thought he was 1,000% going to get paid. And now it's really phenomenal what he's been able to accomplish. He's made over $500 million in salary as an NBA player, which is a completely extraordinary number. If you think about it, I think there's only 3 players who have made that much money: Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant outside of him. I would argue that James Harden is just as good as Kevin Durant, even though he hasn't won any titles. I don't think Kevin Durant wins any titles or has the career that James Harden has if he's not next to Steph Curry. And I think if you put James Harden in that situation, he is winning titles. James Harden is a phenomenal player. He has his flaws. He shirks on the biggest stages. We all know what they are at this point. But the dude should have a class named after him at Harvard Business School, the James Harden economics class or whatever the fuck. It's ridiculous and just absolutely phenomenal that he is so skilled and being able to get himself paid and run the business of the NBA in the way that he does. He's obviously a phenomenal player. You don't get paid unless you're like that, unless you're a phenomenal player. And I just really hope that for all the Harden haters out there, this is the final nail in the coffin that just kind of shuts everybody else up.